Well, if you don't know, now you know.
Hi,
You
everyone.
know.
We are live from the apocalypse. Thank you all for joining us tonight for the final episode of Banned in Duel City. Uh, for those who are not familiar, we play tabletop role playing games to benefit nonprofits, aid organizations, and other charitable causes. If you enjoy what you see tonight, rather than subscribing or giving bits, please donate directly to the organizations that we're currently fundraising for. Right now, that is the First Nations Development Institute, a nonprofit organization that assists Native American tribes, their communities, and Native nonprofits in economic development by providing technical assistance, training, policy, and the awarding of grants. If you'd like to donate, just type !donate in the chat, and our bot will post the link. And that will also give our players a token. And given that we're potentially going into final climatic battles, more tokens are good. We also have channel points you'll unlock just by watching, which you can use to drop emotes during the stream uh, as well. Um, so this is our Yu-Gi-Oh! Punk, motorcycles, magic, futuristic, just everything, including the kitchen sink, thrown together game that has been a wild ride so far and promises to continue that all the way to the end. I am going to let our players go around and introduce themselves, their characters, and let us know what else they have going on. And then I will do that for myself as well, and we'll get started. So, left to right, JD, feel free to get us started.
Always 110% prepared for this. Hi, I'm JD. Tonight I am playing Evan, who is a ball of rage who has no emotional control. You can also find me with Live from the Apocalypse and Class Reunion, our D&D homebrew game, as Hunter, our Ace Agender Ranger, and with Academy H, our Masks Actual Play podcast that we record every other Sunday as Casimir Bright, aka Spectral. And I am also with Tales from the Table Studios just about every Monday for our SCP game, A Crumbling Foundation, and currently with RPGs Uncovered for Season 4, where we are doing a demo play through Cyber Rats every Saturday. That's it for now, but I'm going to keep teasing it, very exciting things on the horizon.
Awesome. Lion, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, hi. I'm Lion. I am the head for Tales from the Table Studios. We produce a whole bunch of different content every week here on Twitch. Well, not here on Twitch, they're on Twitch, but you know what I mean. You can keep up to date with that by following me over on Twitter at the Lion Knight 42. And we just announced, and I'm super excited. We're going to be doing Days of Tales 2 at the end of March 24th through the 26th, the weekend of actual plays, giveaways, and panels to support and raise money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Our casting sheet is open for that now, so if you're interested, please feel free, give it a click, sign up. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We're really excited for it and hope to see you there.
Cool. And Matan?
Hello, everyone. I see you're awake. I'm Matan. I make music. I play in a band called Cold Rex. We're playing some shows in a few weeks on the 24th and 25th in New York and in Brooklyn, New York specifically, not the rest of the state, and Trenton, New Jersey. If you care, follow us on Twitter at Cold Rex. For myself, I make music of all sorts: pop music, electronic music, obviously punk music. So if you want music, you're they. And thanks for having me. That's it.
And Will.
I assume I'm next. Hi, I'm Will. I'm one of the organizers and the storytellers at Live from the Apocalypse. I do a bunch of stuff. You might have caught me last night on Missing Numbers with Liz as well. Playing our Eldritch Horror Pokemon TTRPG. I play Julian Rue, Next Team Rocket member turned chef, and I run Class Reunion, which is our 5e homebrew about a group of teenagers who have been trapped in a fantasy world for 10 years. And I also run and edit our Masks Actual Play podcast, Academy H. And I voice Fletcher Bain in our Monster of the Week podcast, Cryptid Community College. The final episode of the first season is dropping this Thursday. and Matan did all the music for that show as well. So you can check that out for a sample of what they do. And I think that's pretty much everything that's coming up. Currently, you can catch me Monday nights over at Guild Superior with a Punk Red game. That's all the stuff that I got going on right now. So, disappear.
Cool. And I am Liz. I'll be running this game tonight. I also play in Missing Numbers with Will on Tuesday, every other Tuesday, where I play Billy Baker. Other than that, I don't have a lot going on stream game wise, though now that Lion has mentioned Days of Tales, I'm going to
grip
have
it,
to,
grip it, baby. Slop that
thank
down,
you so much for the
dude.
donation.
Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the
Rip
big
it
boy.
and grip it.
Grip it and rip it. Thanks, Mom.
Everybody add a token to start us off.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will's mom.
Thanks, Will's Mom.
Yes, I'm going to have to come up with something somehow even more unhinged of a pitch than this game for Days of Tales, which will be a fun challenge to put on myself. Outside of that, it's worth mentioning, since Will and JD are both wearing them, that we do have Bad Hand shirts for this game. So if you have loved this, please pick up one of those shirts and support the channel. They are fantastic. Will did such a great job with those shirts. And then the last thing that I want to mention before we get started is just that if you like the system we're using for this game, because it is a very cool system, you should check it out at biscuitfund.itch.io/tournament-arc. Biscuit Fun Games did an incredible job with Tournament Arc and all of its expansions, so that you do all sorts of interesting different game types. Really flexible and creative use of tools and game design. So definitely check it out and support them. And with that, we will get started. So in our last session, our heroes rushed off to try and rescue Spencer, their missing friend or sibling, in the case of Evan, who they had all just realized had been captured. And they decided that they wanted to try and save him and anyone else who had been captured before the rest of the menaces summoned Exodia, because frankly they weren't so sure about the potential collateral damage of that act, and so wanted to make sure that any hostages or captured menaces were rescued before that happened. They were able to track down the place where Spencer and some others were being kept, had some battles outside and inside the building. Most went well. Spencer gave our boy Gideon a pretty good fight, which, it's tough dueling your best friend, especially when your best friend has gotten all sorts of souped up evil stuff added into their deck. So we also had a pretty impressive, surprising showing from both Timmy and Chase, who cleaned up, as well as Evan, who actually pretty much all of the underdogs shined, now that I think about it, last session. So maybe, Gideon, your biggest problem was going into this already experienced battler. Clearly that was just a setup.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%.
Terrible. How dare you?
How dare I? How dare I know the game?
Number one rule of anime is don't be the most skilled guy.
Yeah,
True.
that is true.
You can't level up if you hit the ceiling.
Don't be the person who by all logic should win, because you never will.
Timmy's is the Goku of the party, just gonna transform into a giant ape at the end of this episode.
Dragon Ball Goku, though. Dragon Ball Goku.
No spoilers. No spoilers. We're not there
goodness.
yet.
I like how that's the character trait of Goku you picked. I was like, kind and soft, but could be terrifying when you No, actually a giant ape. Got it.
Turns
All
into
right.
a giant ape with the moonlight.
Well, if we're being thematic, it's a berserk gorilla, right?
Well, he's supposed to be Wukong, so I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a gorilla. But anyways,
Well, no, because
topic.
it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah. the thing he does the least in the entire run of Dragon Ball. Turn into a giant monkey.
So we had some battles. We saved at least 2 people, Spencer and Ray. Ray, the group was unfamiliar with, but Timmy and Chase did have a seemingly particular draw to Ray, potentially due to the spirit Ray was bonded with. And Spencer was rescued as well, though still unconscious. The figure who seemed to have been manipulating Spencer and Ray inside of this building attempted to flee, and I believe that was where we left off with Chase chasing the figure down.
Yep. Like I do.
So yeah, he's trying to flee. What are you doing to stop him?
Good question.
You gotta go like classic Yu-Gi-Oh! And actually fling the cards at him.
Right. Yeah, they go full gambit. Maybe. But I think honestly, Chase, because the move that I believe I am using was run rings around someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Chase is gonna try to literally do that, like literally get in front of this person and then just sort of like circle them rapidly so that they really have nowhere to go.
Okay.
Like every time they try to go around, that's where Chase is.
Yeah, so you just start to like loop around them and they're getting frantic and trapped. And then finally, like they were kind of wearing a robe similar to some of the other figures you've seen, or like a cloak, and like they veer left, you block them, so they try to veer right, cloak gets under their foot, and it's just trip, fall, and they are on the ground. And as they do, the cloak comes off and falls to the ground. And you see this person, and you don't probably recognize them because you're newer to the menaces, but for those who have been around a bit, particularly say like Gideon, you recognize this figure as someone who was part of the menaces quite a while ago, and they just kind of vanished. And it was around the same time that you had started to hear rumblings of your mother being active with the government. But yeah, this figure tripped, falls. They're staring up at you, Chase, on the ground, and they actually look a little bit panicked. Like you can tell they probably didn't expect to lose, and certainly didn't expect to get caught when they tried to bail.
I think Chase is going to call over to Gideon. Hey, am I supposed to know who this is?
So Gideon is still probably laid out against like a wall, with like his head down, looking like he got as much of an emotional beating as a physical one. And when Chase calls out to him, there's a moment where he just kind of like snaps out of it enough to look up, and then his eyes narrow. And he pulls himself back up to his feet, and he like beelines towards them, kind of almost like shoulder brushing, but not quite, with Evan and Spencer. And is gonna so the guy is on the floor still, or did he get up?
No, he's on the floor, and he's kind of looking like they're a little panicked, and I don't think I described him. So he's just got kind of like shaggy black hair, and he actually doesn't look healthy. Like he's kind of that thin that looks like he probably hasn't been eating well, like very like bones kind of sticking out in that way, that like just very defined like bone structure, and that he's probably a little bit like underfed and a little bit just scruffy, hasn't looked like he hasn't bathed or anything in a while. Clearly has been working on whatever spell they were trying to to make happen here. That's clearly been like his focus for a while, and it doesn't look like he's been taking care of himself.
But do I know his name?
I don't know. Do you? If not, I'm sure the internet does. But if you have one, feel free.
Have y'all
Doesn't
considered how
show.
weird it is that as a RPG you have to ask if you know something?
It is weird, right?
Hey, do I know this name?
In a game with Liz, it's a pretty safe bet that the answer is, do you? Do you want to?
It's
do
a
you have
good
name?
question.
Fair.
Yeah.
You know, I almost want to say no, because I think before Gideon's mother disappeared, he was still kind of a background player in the community, right? He just sort of existed, and it wasn't until after she vanished that he, knew everyone and was in with everyone and was like recognizable in these groups. I don't think he does. I think he will recognize them, but I don't think he knows what their name is. But he just sort of like makes that beeline over, and he takes like half a second without looking over at Chase to be like, good job. And then is gonna just sort of like kneel down with his knee on this person's shoulder and just almost like completely out of character for him, like growl out, what the fuck is going on here?
And yeah, the figure looks kind of nervous, but seems to recognize you. Well, I mean, I feel like if anyone should know, I mean, figured you might. It's your mother's idea, after all.
What the fuck does that mean?
I think Chase is gonna like pull out his sword and be like, "You're making your mom jokes right now at a time like this? You think you're in a good position for that?"
Not your mom. His actual mom. She's not a nice person. You may not know. It's kind of a thing. But yeah. This is her plan. I mean, she kind of recruited me for this, but I mean, well, I guess the spell's kind of ruined anyway. So we were trying to complete the death board. It's a long, intensive spell. But if you complete it, it said it can rival the power of Exodia. And well, I mean, you've been outside, so you can see that's on the way. Lyra knew that was coming and wanted to try and circumvent it, or more specifically, do something that would allow us to use its power for our own needs.
Great. So it's a fucking magical arms race. And I think Gideon gets up and just kicks the closest thing to him as hard as he can. Not person, specifically not person, but
You accidentally kicked Timmy.
Speaking
Sorry, I
of,
didn't see you there.
I mean, that would happen to Timmy. That's fair.
poor Timmy.
Speaking of people, Liz, are the people who dropped still alive if Evan goes to check their pulse?
They're dead.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Does that
Ray
include your
and-
brother?
No. That does
Okay.
not. We saved my brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Spencer and Ray were the two left.
Okay.
There were conveniently 5 people there, 3 letters, 3 people dead.
Oh, good, because that was going to be a rampage.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think there is a moment where if anybody is watching Evan, like, you see him check the pulse of the nearest body to him. and then kind of freeze and look down at Spencer and look back at the body and then look at the figure Chase took down. And he looks like he wants to commit a homicide, but he's still holding his brother, and that's literally the only thing that stops him.
I think so Gideon, like maybe more than once, I think actually kicks it at whatever is the closest thing. And for the lot of you, it's probably the first time you've ever seen him anywhere even remotely this emotive or unnerved. His hair is getting jostled all out of place, losing that very classic anime impossible updo. His clothes are kind of disheveled a bit, and he looks back down at the guy and goes, "Where is she?"
Well, when you all arrived, she told me to finish the spell, but she left. And I can only imagine she was trying to uh, operating under the assumption that if the spell doesn't go through, she needed a backup plan. So, where she's headed, you probably know better than me, because I imagine it's to find the rest of your friends who are trying to complete that summit.
Not to to interrupt. How close are Timmy and Spencer here? Evan here.
Evan and Spencer, I don't know exactly how close you moved because you were kind of holding up Spencer. Timmy, you could be wherever. I don't think you're having to support anyone in particular, so you could have moved closer. It's kind of up to you.
I think I hang out with Evan, and then I just hear like, "Fuck!"
And I feel like Timmy's surprised because this is, for the first time, it's not Evan who's cursing.
Yeah.
Like, Evan has actually been very quiet this entire time.
You think everything's okay?
No, Timmy, I don't. People are fucking dead.
I mean, with the fuck.
No, I don't think everything is okay.
Do you think it was a good fuck?
I thought that was really good. Back in character.
Just curious, is anyone checking on Ray?
No, fuck Ray.
Yeah,
Just lay down on the
right.
concrete.
I'm checking on my friend.
Fair, valid.
But should we go check it out? There's not much we can do here.
I mean, I don't know what we're doing next. We're gonna have to do something. I'm not leaving my brother. That's not gonna happen.
I'll carry him. I would like to point out Timmy cannot carry your brother.
I was going to say, I think Evan just kind of looks Timmy up and down and is like, "Will you?"
I probably can't, but I'd like to help. And then Timmy just starts walking off.
Incredible.
Put Spencer on your... Oh,
if I can't carry Spencer.
Evan, can you get Spencer back to your bike?
Yeah, I can do that.
Great. Put him on your bike. Chase, get this guy. Fuck. Get the other one. What was their name? Ray? Get Ray. Help carry them over to Timmy's bike because they damn sure can't ride with you. We need to go now.
Okay. Sure. Probably not the time, but it's Spencer's bike, right?
Yeah, it actually is Spencer's bike. It's not mine.
Cool.
Great.
And Evan just kind of nods at Chase.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for noticing that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Evan wouldn't have one because Evan can't duel.
I mean, that doesn't stop me from having a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle, Chase. It's just, it's not here because I can't ride. I can't ride two motorcycles at once, Chase.
Chase,
Gideon just
Not with that
walks out.
attitude.
there's something called object permanence, and sometimes things exist when they're not there.
But if you have a motorcycle, you duel.
You can have this conversation while we move. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, all right, cool.
Well, first of all, I dueled. You saw me duel Chase.
Yeah, but it was real hard for you.
Yeah, it
I
was,
love
but that's
watching you duel.
but I won.
Yeah.
So that's something. Listen.
It is something.
It's hard, according to. Sorry,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Okay.
So you're all heading out to your bikes carrying various bodies and prisoners.
Yeah.
I'll take the I'm gonna very ungently half carry, half drag the guy who had been behind this.
Okay. As
So,
you
Gideon, what's his name?
The fuck if I know. He just kind of like throws him over the back of the bike.
He looks like a Lafayette.
What?
From Hamilton?
No. What is
There
Hamilton?
are other Lafayettes, Timmy.
No. Do I sound like Timmy?
I just think he looks like his name is Lafayette. Like, I just get that energy from him.
Should we just name him that? Can we just name someone?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, what's he going to do? Argue with us?
He can
That's
try.
true. I mean, he's lucky we're not killing him.
He's unconscious.
Yet.
Whoa, nobody said anything about killing.
I did.
Who was that?
Actually, I believe after you said that, I backed it up. So yeah, I guess we have now.
Timmy, are you okay?
Joey Wheeler is not about killing.
I don't know what's happening here.
Who's Joey Wheeler?
I'm the spirit in this thing.
That
This thing
thing
is
is
a
named
person.
Timmy.
Sorry, guys. I usually, it's been a rough day. I usually am able to keep that down, but
Timmy, are you
Timmy,
haunted?
I'm worried about you.
I worry about myself all the time.
Are you possessed?
Aren't we all?
No.
Kind of, but
I
like
don't
by
think.
like the spirit of a swordsman, not a guy named Joey.
Yeah. Paladin.
Yeah.
Not just some random guy from what is that, old Brooklyn?
Hey, I'm not a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. I'm the number 2 around here.
That sounds like something a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck would
it
say.
really
You're real
does.
defensive.
Yeah, yes, I have to agree with this. Yeah.
Nah.
Timmy, did you bang your head?
No, I banged your mom.
Well,
I'm sure
so
that went
sorry.
well.
I'm so
Well-
sorry. I'm so sorry. I really.
no, it's I
trying
guess
here.
it's okay because I think Gideon's mom is evil. I think, if I'm understanding
No,
this correctly.
you're right. Yeah, she is.
Yes, it's fine.
So, it's okay if Joey Wheeler banged Gideon's mom, I guess.
He can't do that. He's a spirit. He's just mouthy.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm a megaphone.
Huh. Wild. Okay.
That's a
That's
good
a
song lyric.
sentence.
Yeah, no, I just thought like people got possessed by like cards and like dual spirits and things, not like guys.
I also thought that, but apparently not.
But it's kind of funny just given the proximity of it for you all and that this has become a ritual of the Menaces. So I like to imagine multiple people getting like these like fancy elaborate spirits and then Timmy signs up for this. Just like, hey kid, like
What card are
race over a
you?
dragon.
I'll click your clock.
It's just some guy from Neo Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So
From
as
old
you all
New York. Sorry, go ahead.
good. As you all get outside, you feel a shift, for lack of a better term, with the energy outside. And you get the feeling almost immediately that there must have been something kind of done to contain like the feeling of external energy from getting into that building. Probably because they were working very delicate, very dangerous magic, and didn't want anything interfering or like messing with that in any way. But walking back out, like you immediately feel this impact that like while y'all were dealing with this, some things have shifted. Um, the first being that you see two legs now in the sky and a floating arm.
Oh, good.
So two additional pieces seemingly having been successfully summoned. You also you feel something in like just kind of energy that like besides the like kind of after effect of these arms being summoned, you also feel like an outpouring of energy, like there was a conflict. And Evan in particular, you feel like you and Izzy have a close connection because you've been close for years. You feel just an unsettled feeling when you think about Izzy. Like something feels off about their energy. They were one of the groups theoretically summoning these, limbs of Exodia, and clearly that went through successfully. But you almost feel like an absence, and it just feels odd. Like it's not like something you could ever perfectly pinpoint with them, but it's just this feeling that feels off to you that you can kind of connect to them.
Guys, something's fucking wrong.
What do you mean?
It feels a little shift here.
No, it feels wrong. I think something happened to Izzy.
Where were they going? Do you remember?
No, everything was happening way too fast. I don't know. I mean, weren't a lot of the groups meeting up at around the same place?
So the groups had split up, but you all know just from working with people over the years, and particularly Izzy's group, for you, everyone kind of has their own like home base where they kind of like hang out, like each coven. So the predominant people who had like kind of brought this plan forward, Alec and Queese, they were headed back to the kind of spellcast, like the sanctuary that they had that exists. That's kind of where their coven is based, and they had asked you all to come there whenever this was done. The other two groups had gone to their own kind of like home places. For the Lauren and Lane, the two kind of dragon themed members of that coven, they had gone to their own kind of shrine they had set up, and you know that Izzy and
No,
We'll never know.
some other
we will never know.
Wait, it might just be a
was
blip.
that me?
Yeah, I think so, but I think you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I saw you all disappear. That was odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
you're
was
good.
I?
Your signal got red, but it's going back to green now. So it was just a blip, I think. Anyway.
Okay. I was talking about Izzy and them. Did y'all get
Yes.
that part? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we didn't finish that part. That was where we cut out.
Yeah.
You know that their coven tends to stay around a greenhouse because a lot of them summon spirits that have kind of like a plant or earth or like that naturey type of vibe, and so they tend to stay around a greenhouse. And you know generally where that's located in town. So those are the three places where everyone kind of headed.
And I think with that, like Evan still says what he said, but then like pauses and is like, "Shit, no, they'd be at the greenhouse. That's where they would have gone."
And that's where we're going.
Okay.
You all are
Wait,
gonna head there?
you're gonna Evan looks surprised and is just like, gonna you're gonna
What?
go with me for that?
Why wouldn't we?
Because you all barely know me.
And
Hold on, let's
You're
hear
one
him
of
out.
us now.
No, I just I was just surprised. That's all.
you're a
I didn't.
menace. We're menaces. Fuck it.
I
And
don't even
Evan
know
looks
how
at you.
magnets work.
Evan looks at you, Gideon, with respect. Evan does not give that look to Timmy.
Some fucking strategist Timmy is.
Uh,
Uh, so who's carrying who again? So Spencer is on Spencer's bike with Evan, correct?
Mhm.
Uh, Gideon, you have the Lafayette.
Lafayette? Yeah, I have Lafayette.
And who has Ray?
boy, I really wish I could help out with this, guys, but it's
Chase doesn't have
kind
a
of
vehicle.
I was
so
gonna say not Chase.
kind of a solo operation over here. So
You just drag them over and throw them on Timmy's bike.
yeah, Timmy's got a trike that can
Yeah.
probably hold a lot of people.
That's true. You know,
So Ray's on Timmy's bike.
I got a trunk.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all are heading through. As you head across town and you see, you actually notice that like driving here, you were dealing with some like allies of justice that you had to like shake off to get here. And like this part of town in particular where this is at is usually crawling with them. It's conspicuously empty here. Like it's kind of eerie. Like again, that feeling in the air and now like the streets in this part of town, which is usually filled with like either people, you know, government agents or like the patrolling allies of justice or something like that. This part of town is eerily empty as you're driving in the direction of the greenhouse. Um, and as you get closer to it, you start to feel more and more like this kind of like overflowing or like residue of like energy. Like you can feel that there was some sort of clash of energies in the direction you're headed. And finally, as you get close enough to see it, um, Evan, you recognize what was the greenhouse, but it is just torn up. Like the ceiling is knocked in. Um, there's like parts of the walls have kind of collapsed in, and a lot of the plants have this kind of like they're almost like kind of wilted, uh, eroded. Like they just look like something has like kind of almost poisoned or sickened them a little bit. Um, but yeah, it looks in pretty rough shape.
And I think as we all pull up there, I think Evan nearly loses control of the bike in that moment, and probably would have if it weren't for the fact that he doesn't want anything to happen to Spencer, because he probably just would have let himself wipe out and deal with it, but he manages to right it, slow the bike down, stop, get Spencer off, probably drops the bike in the dirt afterwards, and then leaves his brother by the bike and just books it into the wreckage of the greenhouse.
Okay. And yeah, as you run into the wreckage, you see that there was some sort of battle here, um, a significant one. You see traces of it all over this place, but you don't see any bodies. Um, there's damage, there's destruction, uh, but you don't actually see anyone hurt or dead around. And as you're like kind of standing here, like seeking, like searching for something, you feel the faintest trickle of energy uh, coming from somewhere outside of it that feels like it's vague and it's faint and it's weak, but you feel Izzy's energy coming from outside the greenhouse in the direction of this like small rundown church that's kind of next door to the greenhouse. You've never really been in there or paid much attention to it anytime you've been here, but it has always been there. Um, and it's just this tiny little rundown church, but you feel like the energy's coming from in there.
Yeah, in that case, Evan's running towards it.
Okay.
Um,
Where
when
you
Evan,
going?
yeah, when Evan goes running towards it, Gideon is gonna sort of just like step like partially in front and like put a hand on like Evan's shoulder.
What the fuck are you doing?
Where are you going?
I'm going there. That's where Izzy is.
Then we go together because it could be a trap.
I don't fucking care if it's a trap.
I know you don't, but you can't help if you get caught.
All right, then we're going, and we're going now.
Let's fucking go.
So you run over. You both are running over to the church. What are you doing
Where are
as you
they
get
going,
closer?
Chase?
No, they're going to church. I guess.
Weird time.
Yeah. But they'll call if they need us.
That place give me the spooks.
So what's your deal, man?
I something's going on. It's really hard today. What do you mean? What's my deal? Huh?
Like, why do you talk like that?
I'm from New York.
Are you?
That's just how we talk.
Okay.
What are you, a gobble fool?
Are you
I'm
like
so sorry. I didn't mean to call you that. It's just the weird
what?
energies got me, you know.
Yeah, that's the meanest thing you've ever said to anybody, Timmy.
I didn't mean to.
So like, are you cursed to wander the earth because like you'll never be walking here ever again?
I don't like your attitude.
Because you're a ghost, so you can't be,
I'm not a ghost. I'm a spirit. It's different.
Is it different though? Or
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
a
know.
gabagool.
Okay.
That's two gabagool puns.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Can we get a counter going on the stream?
Yeah. We could do that.
Do we have a gabagool counter in the budget? Well,
I
Maybe.
guess.
Beautiful.
Not gonna
for
be
the two who
fancy.
are charging towards the church, what do you do when you reach it?
Throw open the door.
So you run up and you slam into the door, and it doesn't budge. It feels stiff. And what's weird is this whole church looks kind of run down, old, made of wood. Like you should probably be able to like blow your way through this door based on the state of the church would look like, but it feels particularly solid and almost braced. And the moment you slam into it, on the other side of the door, you
No.
We'll never know what we
Oh,
hear.
no. What do we hear?
There is no door. The door was made up.
We hear nothing.
Why am I cursed? Why?
At least it's
Not
quick
you.
this time.
It's Merrick.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're stable.
It's
Okay.
only lasting for like a second.
So on the other side of the door, you hear like rattling metal, almost like clanking chains. that are shifting in the direction of the door. Uh, and then you hear like some like thuds that sound like shifting wood, and the door starts to slowly crack open. And you see two eyes peering out at you from like kind of the shadow of the doorway, like peering through the creak in the doorway.
No.
Oh no. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm back, right? Did you
Yep.
hear what the voice said?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Okay, awesome. The voice just says, "What brings you here?"
Do I recognize the voice?
You do not. Yeah, you do not recognize it at all.
And so I think in that case, not recognizing the voice, Evan pulls out a knife, not the knife, but a knife, and says, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Well, I live here.
The fuck you do? I've never seen you.
You've never come to the church.
That's not wrong. Yeah, that's not wrong. Look, is Izzy in there?
And this figure's eyes kind of look you up and down, pan over to Gideon. Wow. Well, you both seem nice enough, and I think I recognize you uh, from some of her stories, or their stories.
And we'll never know anything more.
I appreciate these dramatic, tense moments that we're getting. It's perfect. This is how you do drama.
I keep thinking for dramatic.
Yeah.
Am I back? Can y'all see me?
Oh
Well,
no.
that's strange.
'Cause
All
every
right.
time
Well,
Well,
Huh.
now we have officially lost connection to each other.
you
Oh,
can you all
no.
see me?
we can't hear you.
I can see and hear you, but
I can just
It-
see the little.
oh, you're
little
showing up in
screen.
the
Yeah.
overlay.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just refresh, Liz.
Okay. ERB.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about this one to be able to help.
Maybe it was happening because I was making the gabagool counter, but it's
Of
done.
course.
It's on you, Will. Why would you have done that?
I don't know.
Actually,
The
technically, it would be on
counter Gaba
Matan then
rules.
because
That's true. That was their idea.
All right. Y'all hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're up to 2 gabagools.
I also did just say it Gaba rules, so maybe 3. Nice.
What was the last thing you all heard from me?
The last thing was the person looked at Evan and said, and heard about you and some of Izzy's stories.
The
I'm
timing
so
is
sorry.
beautiful. It really
So
is.
good.
It
Yeah.
is.
Well, thanks for hanging out, everyone.
It's not even turning red on my end for the record. It's just staying green as I just get thrown into these little like solo room voids.
Weird.
That's the name of my next album.
Now I can't hear Will. Can anyone hear me?
Oh.
That's
I can
because I
hear
was
you.
I can hear
muted.
you.
But
Yeah.
Okay.
can you see and hear all of us?
Except for Matan, it's just I can't see it all.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm not important.
Oh, I disagree.
I disagree.
Yeah.
We
Matan,
don't
can you
need this to be a
refresh?
nice moment. Yeah, I can refresh.
Thank you.
It would not be a stream if the stream were not haunted.
It's true. That is how it works.
On the upside, it creates some really cool metal lore.
Yep.
That's
Now-
the stream you have to do one day. Is the stream where y'all just go to find the ghost that is haunting your streams.
Ghostbusters.
I don't know what's happening.
Me neither.
Lion or Matan, can you? Yeah, okay. one of you can hear me. You both
I can
can?
hear you, yeah.
Yeah.
Do y'all see Will and JD?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you not?
No, I still can only see you two.
Sick.
I'm gonna try refreshing again.
We'll figure it out. One of these is the right configuration.
Yeah.
And I can also refresh if that somehow helps as well.
Yeah, same.
And I can
I'm
do
gonna
this.
close some things that I had open. See if it helps at all.
Else, or is that just me?
It seems like you're back and I can hear
Yeah,
you.
I can see and hear everybody. Well, Lion's gone, but
Personally,
I
I
think
love
they're refreshing.
Yeah.
Okay. I see everyone. Does everyone
Yes.
see me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, we made it happen.
Let's get you all inside this church before it happens again.
Yeah. Everybody's green for my record.
The door opens and she invites you in. And with the door open, you can
We are never going to know.
can-
All right, we're doing pickup games. Pick up Yu-Gi-Oh. Let's go.
Can anyone hear me? Am I back?
Now
You are back.
Okay. I don't.
You just have to
Okay.
speak in only like 4 words at a time.
I'm hosting this, so I wonder if it's on my end. I'm gonna try refreshing.
Okay.
So
And then it explodes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. If nothing else, though, at least thematically this fits.
It's true.
This exploded, Twitter exploded, we're in an exploding dystopian future. It's all exactly
Yeah.
as it should be.
The stars were exploding.
Well, the stars are always exploding.
One by one, they flicker and they fall.
okay. I think we should be good. Everybody's chilling.
Okay. So the door opens. She invites you in. With the door open, you can get a better look at her. And you realize that the clinking you heard earlier are heavy iron shackles that she seems to be wearing, connected with chains. She's also wearing like a nun's what's the term for that? Nun's
Habit.
outfit. I don't know the
Habit, yeah.
She's wearing
I'm
a nun's
Jewish, I don't know.
habit.
I'm Jewish, I know.
But over the habit, besides the shackles, she also has on like an apron and gloves and like that's covered in dirt. Looks like from gardening. Like it looks like, and you see like shovels and rakes off to the side. But she just steps back and Faye beckons you in, and behind Bear you see a couple of bodies lying on the ground, and you recognize one of them as Izzy's and one as Vin, who came with Izzy to the meeting. They both look to be unconscious and in pretty rough shape, but they seem to be breathing. I wasn't able to save them from the attack itself, but I was able to get them out of there afterwards and make sure they were okay.
I feel like Evan is kind of ignoring that because he has run over and is like, I mean, he doesn't know medicine, but he's checking vitals as though he does. And just kind of sitting there beside Izzy and doesn't really look focused on our shackle wearing nun whatsoever.
I'd argue that the menaces have first aid training.
Yeah, Evan does not have first aid training. This is not a skill that he has. In fact, he might look to Gideon and be like, do you know anything that could like help?
I got this.
Timmy, where did you come from?
Forgot that we're not in there, if I'm being honest. We've been trying to get into this church for so long.
Maybe Timmy's just like at the door.
Yeah, no,
We
I
came over to
respect
check,
this.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I dig this. Let's have Timmy come in.
Joey refused to be around Chase any longer.
Hey, what's going on over here?
You said you could help Timmy?
Oh
Can you
yeah,
help?
yeah. And Timmy walks over and just starts like doing like big brain shit
You
that
went
I
like
don't know about because I'm not big brain, but Timmy knows stuff.
you went like
Everything
full
looks
Mickey
fine.
Mouse there for a second, by the way.
Sorry, repeat that.
You went like full Mickey Mouse there for a second.
With the
by
Timmy
the way.
voice.
Yeah.
I can help. Sorry, I don't want to get copyright struck. Yeah, Timmy's like doing. Oh yeah, this seems fine. Yeah, they're doing okay.
They'll be okay, Timmy?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you sure?
Like 95%. I can't guarantee anything in my life.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Okay.
Meanwhile, Gideon's gonna look at the nun,
Mhm.
and be like, "The attack. What happened?"
Someone, a singular figure arrived, um, clearly looking for or seemingly familiar with whatever they were trying to do here. Um, I was in the church, but I could see uh, they summoned clouds that seemed to pour down this like acidic rain, and summoned these cloud-like monsters. And I don't know, something about it seemed to particularly affect uh, Izzy and Vin's summons. They just didn't seem to be as effective as they normally would be, and this figure just overwhelmed them.
The figure. What did they look like?
Oddly enough, what happened? They looked like they
They look like they.
Left. They looked like
They
they
were-
left.
like
They were non-binary.
yellow rain jacket and boots.
Well, at least they'll be easy to pick out of a crowd.
Yeah, they left soon after. Uh, Not sure where they were headed, but they certainly left in a hurry. I was able to walk over and pull these two out, get them over here, and mend some of their wounds.
Timmy, are they going to be all right?
Yeah, they seem like they'll be okay.
And Gideon, you're probably actually Timmy might know this, but Gideon, because you have more familiarity with the game itself, um, as you're talking with this figure up close, there's just something you can't shake that like fair face looks familiar, like oddly familiar. And you're pretty sure you haven't run into any like chain wearing nuns before. Like that's the thing that sticks out in your memory. Um, but something about this person just looks vaguely familiar to you.
Could I spend a token and use my flex your knowledge rewarding move here?
That seems like a perfect use of that. Um, so yeah, you're staring and just trying to figure it out, and all of a sudden it hits you. You've seen this person from when you were first learning to duel. This is Amity Thornway. They were a pretty prominent and successful professional duelist uh, for a good period of time before they just kind of disappeared. She kind of dropped out of the spotlight, and no one really saw Fair after that point. Like, if you're trying to remember and you think it was a pretty like prominent battle that didn't go her way, and then just disappeared off the map.
I think Gideon's been kind of, as they've been talking, had that look that like trying to remember why I know you look. And after asking Timmy if they're okay, he sort of like turns back and he goes, "I know you."
Yeah, yes, dear. You probably do.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. I suppose you might call it training.
Training for what?
To be honest, I don't know. Um, she kind of looks up. She's like, kind of waiting to be told exactly what it is. But after felt I needed to become closer with the spirits I'm able to summon. So I retired here and I spent some time tending my garden, restricting my experiences, and just kind of getting in tune with my plants and my plant like spirits I can summon, waiting for whatever moment uh, that I feel I need to be preparing for. And looks up again and says that they want me to prepare for.
If I'm right, we could definitely use the help with what comes next.
Yeah. Certainly does seem that this whole thing is coming right to my doorstep. I've lived peacefully for quite a while before this, so maybe you're right. Maybe this is the time I've been waiting for.
Wait, Gideon, are you suggesting that we kidnap a nun?
No, I'm politely asking the nun to come with us.
Where's the nun gonna go? We're running out of motorcycles.
Oh,
I have a trike.
I think I have an old card I could probably attach to one of them.
Problem solved, and we're gonna need all hands on deck for this.
I mean,
You should
is
be
it?
able to hold me and your friends, as long as one of you have a vehicle big enough to pull it.
I mean, is it going to be safe though to leave them here? And Evan gestures towards Izzy and Ben.
It's really up to you. I mean I can take we can take them with in the cart, or I can stay here with them if you'd prefer. My church is safe. I mean, as it can be. I can board it back up again. I don't know if anyone would come looking for them or not, but without me here, there's no one really around to defend them.
That's true. And if you stay here, we can leave the others here too.
I just don't want to bring them into the middle of a fight when they can't defend themselves.
No, you're right. I am not thinking clearly. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, then yes, feel free to bring the others in. You can lay them here as well, and I'll make sure they're all taken care of.
Yeah, I'll go get Chase and we'll bring everyone in.
What's Chase been doing this entire time?
Yeah, I was
Guarding the
curious.
prisoners.
Yeah,
Am I
but,
muted?
but what
Dude,
does Chase do? Like,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
what are you doing? What does Chase do when nothing's happening?
I mean, I think just like fidgeting because he's definitely, got ADHD. So I think he just like he's not aware that he's doing it, but he's got like the katana hilt out and he's just kind of like flipping it over his hands and like tossing it in the air and stuff like that. But other than that, just kind of like standing there zoning out, I think.
As Gideon approaches, he just sort of goes, Chase.
Yeah. What's up? I was guarding the prisoners.
I know. How are you feeling?
Fine.
Okay.
Why?
It's been a stressful night, and it's only going to get worse.
Oh, has it been? Sorry, my battle was very easy.
I'm very glad for you. Good. Well, since you have all that extra energy left over, why don't you take 2 of them, and I'll carry this one, and we can get everyone into the church.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
Great. And then we need to get moving.
Will do, boss.
Let's go.
Chase, as you carry these people into the church, you walk past a seemingly friendly nun wearing shackles standing at the door.
Hey.
And there's 2 other bodies lying on the ground. Faye gestures next to those bodies. And, feel free to just lay them there, dear.
Chase will say hi to all 3 of them and lay the unconscious people next to the other 2 bodies.
Perfect.
Make sure to watch them real good.
I'll take care of them. Nothing will
keep
harm
them
them
safe.
here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. We'll keep them safe. And when she says we'll keep them safe, you all feel the briefest chill, and like you see like your breath fog for a second, and just for a brief second, you see a very tall, feminine figure in like a long, like black and purple like ball gown with long white hair, and an umbrella that seems to be made out of ice over her shoulder, kind of like ethereally standing behind Amity.
Huh.
And Amy just nods to you. And, well, now go do what you have to do.
Hey, just quick question. Why are you in chains?
It's part of my training.
Yeah, no further questions. Okay.
Not to pry, but what kind of training involves chains?
Some people wear their chains on the inside, and some people wear their chains on the outside.
Like
That's a beautiful
anally?
metaphor, my dear.
like organs?
Yes, like organs.
Those are less beautiful metaphors, my dears.
Gross.
I try.
Do you get to take them off?
I'll take them off when the time comes where it's needed. For now, they help me focus as I tend my garden. Remind me that everything should require my full energy and attention, even the simplest tasks.
Huh. Okay.
I just use a list.
Well, best of luck to you all.
And Evan
Sick.
looks at Gideon and says, "You got a description of the person who did this, right?"
Gideon is like almost not here. Like it's clear that he's like looking off sort of in his own head when Evan says that.
Gideon.
Yeah.
Gideon, I need you
Yes.
to focus.
Yes.
Did you find out who did this?
Yeah. They were in a yellow raincoat, like out of a Saturday morning cartoon.
Okay, yeah, that should be easy to find. So we're gonna kill them when we find them, right?
We're gonna find them and we're gonna.
I said Joey Wheeler's no killer.
Joey, don't listen to this.
It's okay. I've seen Evan throw knives. Nobody's gonna die.
Ah.
And Evan just kind of glares at Chase and is like, hey, you know what? You know why I use knives?
Because you're edgy.
Even Gideon kind of chuckles at this.
Because you like living on the edge.
I
'Cause you
hate
think
all of you.
Because you think it makes you look cool.
No, none of those things. Because they pop fucking tires. And when you're being chased by people on motorcycles, that works really well when you can't summon spirits.
You know what else pops tires?
Enlighten me.
Magic.
Yeah, I just said I can't use magic.
I know.
Yeah, my scapegoats did a pretty good job.
So
As
we going?
as frustrated as you are right now, please try to remember that this is what Spencer and I deal with every day.
Yeah, I pity both of you.
Hey, I'm trying my best.
You're doing great to me.
Yeah, Timmy's trying his best.
Yeah, what are you doing, Chase?
I'm just along for the ride.
Chase has got to go fast.
I do. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be doing something else.
All about living and learning.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Enough of whatever this is. Is this not what it usually is, Gideon?
Yes, this is exactly how it usually is.
You know we
lower
can hear you, huh?
Yeah, I'm aware, Joe.
Well, there's
I'm
a lot
aware.
less. There's a lot less that I can make fun of Spencer for. So it's not exactly like this.
Yeah, that's really fair.
And you're ugly too.
Joey, I'm gonna fight you.
Bring it on.
All right. Let's save the aggression for the bad guys. Yeah.
I'd like to give Joey Wheeler a token.
I
Because
think
JD
you deserve one.
rile someone up. They get
Yep.
a
Yeah,
token.
I think that's warranted.
Fuck yeah.
You all walk back outside the church bickering. You're all of a sudden kind of brought to a quiet kind as a fourth outpouring of immense energy happens, and you see an arm begin to appear in the air next to the other arm and two legs.
I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, they're almost.
Way to state the obvious, Timmy.
Yeah.
So-
Let's go.
All right, so it's 2 arms, 2 legs,
Mhm.
a head, and then what do we like? Glasses, a top hat. What are the rules here?
It's just the head. The head and the body are one piece.
Oh shit!
Everything comes to a head.
Yeah.
Oh, they're almost done, huh?
Yeah. One way or the other, we're in the end game.
I mean, do we think this is a good thing?
No.
It's gonna be interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. If it works, Who's to say if it will?
Gideon, I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know you this well, but like I said before, you need to get your head in the game. You're our leader, aren't you? I mean, without Spencer, we need you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's never lost on me. I'm
Gideon,
here.
whatever you need, we're here for you. You don't have to take it on alone.
Gotta get your game on.
Gotta get your head in the game.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if what's happening here is a good thing. I can't know. My gut says it's a bad idea. Even if it works, there's no way for us to be confident we're going to be able to control this thing, even with all of us. But at the same time, is our hand forced? Do we have any other options? We're barely making it by as is, and they're ramping things up on more levels than we can imagine, apparently. At what point do we do this Hail Mary? And furthermore, do we get another chance? I don't know. What I do know is if it works, then there's a piece that we didn't think we'd ever see in our lifetime. We can figure that out when we get there, because I have a feeling it's not going to be that easy. I know that with the group of us, whatever it is that we decide, what we settle on together, not just me, we'll make it happen. Or not. Together. Yeah?
Now that was being a fucking team leader, Gideon. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
That means we win, right? We
Yeah,
won.
Yes,
yeah.
we won.
We won.
They're back.
So, are you all headed out?
Yeah. Off we go.
Where are you headed?
There was the sanctuary that we were supposed to meet up at, right? That's where
Yeah.
we're going.
Cool. So yeah, you all hop on your bikes and or trikes and or hoverboards and head off in that direction. And with that, we will take a 10-minute break and be right back. So please stick around and see how this all wraps up.
Oh.
Nope.
What has happened?
I can't
Oh
in here.
no.
Hold on, let me
What, you thought we'd come back with no technical difficulties?
right.
Haha, you fools.
That's so
Please
there
tell
we
me
go.
I turned off my mic when I burped. I just had like horrendous anxiety. I didn't.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I did not hear a burp, but we're good to go. Everybody's back.
We are all
Cool.
on screen.
Woot.
All right. So yeah, you all are headed off in the direction of where you know to be the sanctuary is at. You're cruising through town. As you start to get closer, you start to see that the allies of justice that seemingly went missing earlier, uh, you seem to have found where they ended up because they have congregated around this portion of town and are starting to swarm all
Ooh. Damn.
around the street.
Oh. Well,
Eh?
Oh.
Ah?
It was intermittent. It's just your signal is like dropping and then coming back, and like right now it's green.
Okay.
'Tis the night. We'll ad lib.
But it just dips to red sometimes randomly. But it doesn't seem to be lasting for very long for the most part. So
Me neither.
You beat me by half a second. I was gonna do
Where's
that's
the,
what she
uh,
said.
where's the gun? There we go.
Listen, Will invited me here. He knew what he was getting into.
It's technically true.
That's
So
the
yeah,
best kind of true.
y'all started making
My God.
I can't help but laugh now.
I know. It's just I don't. It simply does not make sense.
faces. I'm back.
Oh
There
no!
are
Yeah.
faces.
Now we can see them on the overlay, but not here.
Yeah, you
I
didn't
can
come
see 'em
back
here.
into the room. You're just back in
No.
the source.
I'm gonna
Wait, they
refresh.
popped up for me.
Okay.
I see them. I don't
I
know if
also see
anyone
them.
else does.
No,
Lion, if
it's
you
just
can hear me, tell the others I'm gonna refresh.
Yeah, refresh.
It was gonna refresh.
Their internet is so weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Comcast.
I mean, yeah, but that's what I
Ugh.
have, and like I don't have half the problem. I mean, that's sometimes I do, but hello,
Just depends
yes.
on the day and what they feel doing.
Honestly, yeah, not wrong.
So I have an empty box. They're like, I see that they're connected, but I don't see them.
I can't explain. I can see them. Can anybody else see them?
I can see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
And
try
you-
reloading then and see if maybe it's on my end.
Welcome everyone to Technical Difficulties by Racer X.
I mean, that's how it goes, unfortunately.
Stream's
I
more
don't think you can
haunted
play
than
that
usual.
without getting copyrighted.
Tech
Yeah.
problems the game. Right. So I see everyone now. Does everyone see
Okay.
me? Are we good?
Yes.
Excellent.
All right. So you're cruising through town on your way to the sanctuary. The allies of justice that were seemingly missing from the other part of town, well, you found them as they are swarming the streets here. You see the little hounds. You see the tentacled floating things from earlier. And you even see a few that almost look like larger versions of the smaller hounds you were seeing previously. They're more like the size of, frankly, your motorcycles. Oh wait, I clicked away. Do y'all still hear me?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it lost me for a second. So yeah, those are like larger with these like gold plates and like what a single lens that looks almost like an eye on the front of their face. And you see a few of those like patrolling around as well as you start. And are you all kind of just cruising through them and trying to make a break for it towards the sanctuary?
Yeah, I think so, right? I mean, I don't think we have time for all that. Uh-oh.
I don't know that Chance can resist. So I'll take a token to I looked at it and then immediately forgot what it says. Get way too cocky. Oh shit.
Okay. Take a token to send me into the void.
Yeah, clearly. Into the shadow realm, even. But I will get way too cocky. Chase is definitely gonna try to get fancy and like he's gonna try to do the thing where he runs circles around them.
Mm-hmm.
Basically just like taunting them and showing off. It might not work out this time. Sounds like it's not going to work out this time.
Okay. So yeah, I think you are that makes sense. You're doing exactly that. You're just cruising in and out, and you're managing to get the best of the smaller like little hounds and even the floating ones. But then one of those larger hounds locks onto you and just leaps and manages to knock you off of your hoverboard.
Oh shit.
And Chase goes down in the middle of all of these. What are the rest of you doing?
I think I'm going to. I'm going
Leave
to
him
spend a
there.
token. I'm going to spend a token to show myself to be dependable. And I'm going to circle back, lean down, offer my hand to Chase, and pull him up on the back of my bike.
Okay. Chase will grab your hand, and I think he's like got the hoverboard in his other hand, and he'll swing onto the back of the bike. And he will say, thank you.
And Evan will
Well-
say, "That was a bad decision, but you looked kind of doing it."
I like to think that choices are neutral and neither inherently good nor bad.
That is a really fucking bizarre perspective. And I don't know how I feel about it.
You won't know until you do it. Turns out that one was bad, but how could I have known that ahead of time?
There are a lot of ways you could have known that ahead of time.
No, see, I could have guessed,
Oh my
but I wouldn't have known unless I tried.
We're running out of time here.
And it all worked out.
Yeah, I guess it did. And I guess you've got a point.
But we don't have a GM.
Yeah, we do.
Literally,
And
as you said, I guess it all worked out. I threw off into the void again.
Maybe it's me. Maybe I should stop talking.
It's just the
I was just going to describe Chase's whole apparently life philosophy as Schrodinger's intrusive thought.
Yep.
Like, you
Valid.
can't know if it's
Yep.
a good or bad idea until you try it.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
So Evan is able to save Chase. Do one of the other two of you want to spend a token and describe how maybe you're clearing a path so that you all can get through while they are now that Evan has saved Chase from falling off the board?
I'll spend a token to predict others' actions, so that Timmy can help Gideon be like, "Go this way."
I was
Oh,
going to say,
yeah.
how could you have predicted that Chase was going to do that?
You can't predict anything with Chase. That move
Yeah.
never works involving Chase.
Nope. Chase is unchaseable.
He's consistent in his inconsistency.
So Timmy basically just reads how the allies adjust as they're moving and is able to help get the others through them.
Yes.
And I think as Timmy starts doing that, Gideon just kind of calls back to Evan, only now noticing Chase is now riding with him. Just follow Timmy.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Oh, and here I thought you were following me.
Well, did you notice that we lost Chase for a second?
Yes.
Did you? Did you actually?
Look, there's a lot going on, okay?
Well, it's fine. He's fine.
Okay. Good. Well, good.
True. Evan got me.
Yeah, I saved him.
Yep. Good old Evan.
No one's ever said that about me before.
No one's ever called you old before?
We don't have time for this, Chase.
I mean, I'm not driving. I got nothing but time.
Butt time.
But time.
Why are you like this?
With Timmy's direction, you all are able to make your way through this kind of of these things that have clearly kind of seemingly were patrolling to almost stop you from getting where you're. Yep, I did. Okay. Once you get through this initial group of them, you're on the other side and headed towards the sanctuary, which you know to be kind of tucked away inside of a park in this part of the city. There's
So we're talking about tucking today, huh?
This is a longer than normal one, which is what she said, I guess, in keeping with the theme.
Yeah, sure is a night.
Yeah, now we're down 2 players. I mean, Wednesdays are rough, to be fair. Like, I was looking at it, and literally everyone we know is streaming right now. People just use the internet a lot on Wednesdays.
Yeah, the internet is just so crowded right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
So what's your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Gearfried.
Nice.
I guess. I don't know that much about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I was like talking to Liz about it before we started this game, and I was like, that one has always stuck with me.
you see me?
Gearfried, the Iron Knight.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
can you guys? Yes, I was gonna say, can you all see Liz?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So it's in a park. The sanctuary is in a park on the side of town. Some members of this coven keep a spell going to obscure it. But you all know how to get there. You've been there once or twice at some point, or at least some of you have. As you pull into this kind of area and get closer, the first thing you all notice is that you can see the sanctuary, which means that the illusion is not up.
That's a bad sign, right?
Yeah, Chase, that's a bad sign.
Cool. Very cool.
That's a
not supposed to
reaction.
be there.
I mean, I guess we're going to see, right, how this plays out.
So what are y'all doing? You can see it's like a building in the middle.
And this is where we had the meeting earlier, or not where we had the meeting earlier?
No, the meeting was at like an auto shop.
Okay.
That's kind of like an underground meeting place.
Right.
This place, you all don't usually go here. Like, you've maybe been here once before for like you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is usually considered a pretty protected space for ministers.
Do you want to take like 5 minutes and like just restart, or would that completely kill your setup? We could try it, but I don't know.
I don't know if restarting the computer would change anything. I did restart before the stream, actually.
Okay. I don't know either. It's weird though, because it's like your signal will be green and then it'll just disappear entirely. And then it'll come back red and it'll slowly get better. But like those periods where we're like not getting you, there's just no signal. It's not even like bad signal. So it's very weird.
Yeah.
We can just carry on. Like it's not the end of the world, but
keep calm. Carry
as
on.
it happens again.
I don't know. And it's wild because nothing happened yesterday.
Yeah,
like not a single issue the entire session.
I mean, we were talking about it. Like Wednesday nights are just kind of crazy. I was mentioning that like everyone we know is streaming tonight. So Wednesdays are just big. Video Ninja also might just be like getting a lot of traffic right now. But it's probably something with Comcast.
Yeah. All right. So you all see the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Building. You haven't been to it in a long time, but you have been before. It is there. What are you all doing?
I think we're on the approach.
Chase,
Chase,
leading the charge.
Yeah, Gideon's leading the charge, but I think Chase is just going to be like, we just walk in. We're all good with that.
I think we need to figure out what we're doing. Like, are we here to help with the summoning? Are we here to deal with whatever is making the sanctuary visible? Like, what are we here to do? Are we here to kill a couple of people? Like,
Well,
We're
I
not
mean,
killing people.
Joey, I'm not asking you.
nobody's talking to you, Joey.
Forget about it. I think we got to stop the summoning. I don't have a good feeling.
Well, I don't think we can't do that, can we? What? Never mind. Maybe we could.
I thought we could do. I thought you could do anything, Chase, because you were like, if I don't know, why not do it? Find
Listen,
out.
now you're getting it. And if we're all on board, yeah, let's stop this ritual and see what happens.
Evan, would you say your mind has been opened?
I might, but I'm afraid to answer that. That seems like a trap.
Well, I wanted to give Will a token, if or
Ah.
say Will could get it, because it seems like you're influencing, and that's Will's lure. And I just noticed that for the first time in 3 sessions.
No, that's
when
valid.
Gideon did that.
Interesting. Okay. So I get a token?
Yeah.
I have so many tokens.
I think actually, hold on, it may be the opposite. Yeah, they get a token.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Nice.
cool.
JD gets a token. Sorry.
That's even better. Okay.
I will take a token.
Hell yeah.
For getting your mind opened.
Yes. I'm starting to vibe with Chase's theory
Now
of life.
you're getting it.
I like it.
I mean, if anyone in this group could use a little bit more go with the flow, it is probably Evan.
Except that's probably going to involve violence, so we'll see how that goes.
The flow of blood.
Exactly.
All right.
Should we wait for Lion to
Yeah,
move
since
on?
we lost them.
I mean, they said they'd be right back. We could just
let's keep trucking then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I might have an answer anyway if they're not back soon.
Okay.
So, are you all so you're able to see the building, you don't see anyone outside of it. It is apparent. Are you it's visible, rather large. Are you getting off your bikes and going in? What do you I know you all said you're approaching, but
Are we up front already? Let's just assume we're up front.
Yeah,
you're basically pulling up to it.
Cool. All right, let's go in. It sounds like we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I think we are.
So we're going to get
stop
in there.
the summoning.
Let's see
we're
what
going to stop the
happens.
summoning.
Okay.
Let's go.
So you all hop off your bikes and go to run in, and immediately you see as you enter this place, you feel the same kind of after effects of energy clashes in the space, as well as feel that stuff is still happening. You see some figures that you recognize, various menaces, kind of in various states of unhealth or unwellness, on the floor around, and clearly signs of a skirmish here. As you all enter, ahead of you, you see looks like about 4 figures heading through a door into the next room. Looks like, well, 2 of them you don't quite recognize, but at least one of them you recognize the description of, because they are wearing a pretty vibrantly yellow raincoat and boots. And walking with them, you see another figure that looks uncannily familiar, as you recognize a trench coat and some bandages and a familiar fedora style hat. And walking alongside them, Gideon, you see Lyra.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think I'm going to be causing problems on purpose. Because I think in response to seeing our bandaged trench coat wearing figure, I mean, I think just by sheer instinct, like, Evan's going to yell traitor and throw several knives at him, but I would like to spend a token to have feelings flare up at a bad time.
Ooh.
We're having some strong feelings.
Or no,
aren't
wait,
we?
I get a token for that. Never mind.
I was
That
going to
doesn't
say, why
help
would
me.
that cost you a token?
Well, it costs you a lot more than a token.
It's going to
but, you
cost
know.
me something because
Yeah.
I'm throwing knives.
Yeah, so you unleash a barrage of knives at this figure, and they actually do seem to like to be on target to hit, but then when they hit them, they just seem to fall to the ground. And as this figure turns around to look at you, they kind of loosen their jacket a little bit, and you actually see like a protective vest underneath. And you kind of hear a chuckle and hear that a familiar voice say, "And everyone always calls me paranoid, but look who's right this time."
You wouldn't have to be paranoid if you weren't a fucking traitor.
Yeah.
Well, see, you say that, but the thing about that is that if you help both sides, you don't have to worry about anyone betraying you.
I don't think that's right. Chase, does that sound right?
No, that doesn't sound right. That's a different conversation. That's about whether or not you are gonna be betrayed, but it doesn't have anything to do with your ability to betray people. Actually, your definition describes betrayal in it.
Yeah.
By virtue of playing both sides. That's literally betrayal.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah,
No,
seems accurate.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying that stops other people from betraying me because I'm the one that's already doing the betraying.
It's true, you
both of them
can't
can
be
happen
betrayed
at the
when you're
same
already.
time.
Yeah, that's not what Evan was saying. Evan was saying you're a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was agreeing with that. I was just saying that that's the best thing to do when you're paranoid. Like, your friend seemed to be saying that if I wouldn't
Why
have
are
to
we
worry
talking
about
about
being
this?
betrayed.
Well, listen, man, all due respect, but that's not what we're talking about. Nobody cares. Nobody asked.
Well, your friend implied that I wouldn't have to worry about people betraying me if I wasn't a traitor.
I mean, that is accurate, but as a traitor, at least you're in good company.
Oh my god. Is this what it's like talking to me?
Yes.
Look,
sometimes.
Always. Every single time.
That thing might work on knives, but how does it work on magic? And Chase is gonna do a thing.
Do all the things.
Yeah. I guess in this case, Chase is gonna try to like make everybody stop talking and lead the charge. So I'm gonna spend a token to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to like throw down his hoverboard, pull the katana out of it as he does so, hop onto it, and just jet straight for this figure. And as he does so, he's going to summon his magic through summon his magic through the spirit of Gearfried, and he is going to once again channel my character sheet got compacted, channel the divine sword Phoenix Blade through the broken hilt of the katana and just try to swipe this guy with a big glowing magic sword of energy. Golden energy.
Get him.
So that all makes sense. My only question is Chase doing a murder?
Can magic kill people?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't do a murder.
Yes.
I believe that's
do
the
a
premise
murder.
of this entire thing is that magic can very much kill a large amount of
Can
people.
my magic kill people?
Magic doesn't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah.
The only thing that stops someone with a bad person with magic is a good person with magic, right?
Exactly.
This is literally the whole campaign that we're doing.
Yes.
My thought in this matter is that maybe since it's the divine sword, it doesn't maybe necessarily kill people.
Yeah, you cannot do a murder. I was just asking if you were doing a murder.
Not intentionally.
Okay.
What about unintentionally?
I mean,
no.
that's
Roll a
out of my
D20.
control.
Excuse me,
I mean,
there
you
are
could
no
gain a
dice in this
token to
game.
accidentally do a murder, but
It doesn't say that on my character sheet.
does if you're creative enough.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
that's fair, I guess. I spent a token though, so I am not murdering this man, but I would like to take him out of the fight if I can. Like, that's an option.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. So yeah, I think you zoom forward and this group is caught off guard because you're moving at the pace of a hoverboard that can keep up with motorcycles, except for you're inside. And all of a sudden Chase's seemingly ridiculous choice of travel option seems a lot more practical. So he zooms across the room and cuts into Blackwood, who takes his hit and flies up against the wall. And reacting to this with shock, Lyra turns and looks to the other two figures. You stall them, and turns and goes to run off through the doorway that they were all headed to.
When as Chase like rockets off towards Blackwood, I think Gideon is actually going to be driving forward beside him. And as he kind of veers off towards Blackwood, Gideon is going to try and do a murder with his motorcycle.
So y'all had to leave the motorcycles outside because this was a building.
Oh, okay.
That
cool.
was while you were
okay.
that was while you were signed off. So the only one who can move that fast is the person who used a hoverboard, which can conveniently be brought indoors.
Fair.
You can still do something if you'd like, but you just aren't keeping up with Chase relatively. But if you want
that's totally valid.
Do something else.
No, then I don't think so. I think it was just one of those situations where it was without the knowledge we were off the bikes. It was just the perfect opportunity.
So Lyra turns and goes to run the other direction while the figure in the yellow raincoat and boots and another figure besides them who seems to be wearing just like a lab coat turn, and they both start to step towards you all holding up dual discs. Yes, appropriate reaction. What are you all doing?
Gideon, seeing Lyra run off, is going to go running after her, and then oh, go ahead. What are you gonna?
No, I think Chase is gonna call out. But when Blackwood goes flying back in, so I think Chase is gonna call out and like, do you want me to fight your mom?
No, I've got her, and he's gonna take off. He stops for like half a second to just look back at Timmy and Chase and Evan, and I think his eyes kind of linger on you, Evan, for a moment, and then he just kind of gives you a bit of a nod, and then runs off.
I would like to spend another token if I can.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to spend a token to do something bloody brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase is going to call out a heads up to Gideon, and he is going to time it perfectly so that he is rocketing along like the ground parallel to it on his board, and then he is going to just very casually take one step off the back, but the board is going to go flying forward at the exact right trajectory and angle that it just kind of gets under Gideon's feet.
I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I don't know if I have to spend anything to pull this move off, but
Chase will spin it for you. So
hell yeah. Gideon, without like missing a beat, gets on it, and he does sort of like a spin just long enough so he can look back at Chase again and give him like the up nod and be like, "Y'all got this," and then speed off.
Chase is going to turn to the other two standing there, and he's going to say, "You heard the man."
And are you two going to duel these two figures?
I think we sure are. Evan,
you guys got this.
Definitely looks nervous, but
I'm not actually sure Evan does, Timmy.
Shut up, Chase. Why
Sorry,
would you say that?
Timmy could just be in their ear. It's fine.
Oh shit, Chase is gonna say. And I would like to take a token because I made an amateur mistake and I gave away my dual disc.
Oh no!
Oh
Okay,
my
okay.
god, yep.
Okay, hang on,
Take your
hang on,
token.
hang on. Okay. Oh no.
No, it's okay. I kind of like
Yeah.
it because that
Okay.
means it has to be Evan and Timmy.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
it does perfectly set it up.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
had 4 people, and then Chase took out one of them. So,
No, he's just like standing there, and he's like he like reaches for his deck, and he's like, "Oh shit." You guys got
brilliant.
this.
Chase, are you
so
fucking
good.
kidding me?
No,
I mean, that was really cool, but
right?
fuck.
Nah, I liked it.
No, I mean, I liked it too.
You
But-
got this. Just like do the magic thing that you do, but better this time.
But I don't do the magic thing.
Blabbing, let's duel.
All right, fine. All right, fuck. Okay.
I assume Evan is facing off with the one in the raincoat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Leaves Timmy with lab coat. And yeah, they pull out their duel discs. You pull out each of yours, and let's do a duel. Let me click over and grab their cards.
Evan, you got this, right?
I don't know, Timmy, you got this?
I got it, don't worry.
All right, that's fine, Joey. That's fine.
Yeah.
1 second as I grab their cards.
It's time to gabba duel.
It had been too long. We needed another one. If we don't get to 10 by the end of the night, we're gonna feel like Gobba fools.
Well, we might not get to the end of the night.
I mean, we'll see. It was doing better for a second there.
It was.
I was gonna mention it, and then I was like, you know what? No.
No,
Yeah, I
don't
wanna
jinx it.
it.
It's bad enough that you thought it, and that's what did it.
Stick to my usual of not having thoughts.
Can y'all see me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm on a different screen, so I couldn't actually see if I've come back. Just need 2 parts. There we go. All right. Deck's built. All right, so everybody draw 4 cards to start, but y'all are going first. You can technically draw 5. And I'm gonna have Evan go first, because that's the card deck I have on the left side.
Cool. Cool. Okay.
So you would be attacking this first round. Sorry, I'm still shuffling mine, but we both play out our face cards, and then we'll reveal those.
Mm-hmm.
My face card is gonna be 2 of diamond. Nope. Have you played yours?
I have. Mine is the 2 of diamonds.
Okay. Now we play our boosts. We're tied, so attacker goes first. So you play your additional cards first. Tell me how many you played. You don't tell me what they are, just how many you played, and then we'll lay out mine.
I played 1.
Okay. I'm going to also play 1. And mine is the 4 of spades. Bring my total to 6.
That is going to beat me since mine is the 3 of diamonds.
So you take 1 life point damage, and I get to draw an extra card next turn. I'm just gonna go ahead and do so I don't forget about it.
So
It's gonna go bad.
BT Dubs, is our health reset from the last
Yes.
game? Okay.
Okay, this is gonna go slightly less bad.
And then let's hop over
Let's
and
start with
do
5, right?
Yeah, it's technically 4, and then you draw in the first turn, but ends up being
Oh,
5.
I meant life points.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
5 life
5
points.
life points.
Also, don't forget, Evan, about all your dueling moves.
Yes, I am keeping an eye on them.
Yeah, because y'all didn't use any of the super strong ones early last time, and that also could have helped for the people who had tougher battles.
Yeah, I mean, I
Chase
would
was
have been
fine,
happy to
but
use them, but
so Timmy, you are the attacker for this one.
Played my face card.
I put mine down as well, and mine is the 5 of spades.
2 of diamonds, baby. Sorry, 2 of diamonds.
And then mine is higher, so I have to play my additional cards first. So I'm going to just put out 1. And then let me know when you've played yours. We'll reveal.
I'll
ours.
also put out 1.
Okay.
I've got 7 total. 5 of diamonds.
I have 8 total. 3 of hearts with the 5 of spades. So that is spades. So that next turn after your draw step, you have to discard a card before playing.
Please remind me.
You also take 1 life point damage. You can go ahead and draw and discard now while we cut back to Evan.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. I feel like I made a show of saying I was going to draw those cards in advance so I didn't forget, and yet I'm holding 3 cards in my hand. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, okay, there we go. So this round I am the attacker. So base card down. All right, do you have yours?
I do.
2 of spades.
Ace of diamonds.
Okay. Mine is higher, so I have to put my boost first. I am placing 1 boost.
I am placing 1 boost.
Okay. Reveal. Mine is the 5 of spades, so
Mine is the 2 of spades.
total is 7.
Yep.
I also realized we definitely forgot last round to add the narration to this. So oops, my bad. But for this round, what cards do you have summoned? with those?
Who do I have? That is a great question. I have the Super Soldier Ritual and Nikitama.
Okay. So I think what this manifests is you start to summon Nikitama and seems like you're trying to put together the ritual now that you know how to do it. But this figure is able to summon out across the first and this round. You see almost immediately you recognize what Amity was talking about as this figure starts to summon all these various clouds, small little clouds, some that seem to take the shape of like almost humanoid shapes. And then with this turn, some of the littler ones that were able to still do damage. Last turn, one in the shape of a dragon was able to destroy what you had summoned. This turn, uh, they're able to add in some littler clouds. And then all of a sudden, those clouds all merge together into this giant, looming, humanoid shaped cloud figure that crashes down on your Nikitama, interrupting your ritual and doing another life point damage. And this one was spades. So you draw a card and then discard a card, similar to what happened to Timmy. And let's hop back over to Timmy. So we both play our face cards. I am the attacker this round. And do you have yours played, Tom?
My push to talk wasn't working. I sure do.
Perfect. Well, mine is the Ace of Hearts.
I summon Baby Dragon. No, sorry, Time Wizard. The other one, Time Wizard.
Still good.
What is your face card?
It's an Ace of Clubs.
Cool. And then that is a tie. I'm the attacker, so I play my boost first. I'm going to play 1. How many are you playing?
Can I spend a token at any time?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use Pot of Greed and draw 2 cards from my deck. I'll also play 1.
Okay. And reveal. My total is 5 because my 1 was the 4 of spades.
Mine is also 5. And it's the 4 clubs.
What was your what was your ace?
Ace of Clubs.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have hearts. So I'm supposed to deal 1 extra damage and win ties when I'm the attacker, but you deal 1 extra damage and win ties when you're the defender. And I think I'm going to give it to Timmy because you played 2 clubs and I only played 1 hearts. So
Also,
I think
played Time Wizard and Red Eyes Black Dragon.
And so, and again, I've forgotten to describe it last round. So this figure you're dueling, when they start to summon their monsters, what they summon out, they're using the term cyberdark, and what you see are these like kind of odd little like somewhere between like draconic and insect like mechanical constructs, but in the arms of these constructs, you see spirits of dragons that seem to be like almost trapped and constrained, and these things seem to be harnessing their power. Um, and for those of you who have spent some time, for those of you who have longer tenure with the ministers and have interacted with some of the other covenants, you recognize some of the draconic spirits that seem to be being like controlled and constrained by these machines as those used by Lorne and Lane of the Draconic Coven. But in spite of that, the Time Wizard Red Eyes combo is overwhelming as Time Wizard decays and rusts this machinery, and Red Eyes is able to smash right through it, dealing 2 damage to this figure. dropping their life points down to 3.
Ha ha. Good job, Joey.
And we are back over to Evan. Go ahead and, so that we don't forget, draw an extra card for Timmy. Evan, you are the attacker. Let's go ahead and play our face cards.
Okay. I shall.
And reveal. Mine is the 4 of diamonds.
Mine is the 3 of hearts.
Okay. And we can play our boost. Mine is higher, so I play mine first. I'm going to put 1 down. How many are you playing?
I'm going to put down 1 as well.
Okay. And unless anyone is using any moves, we can go ahead and reveal. My total is 7.
As is mine.
Interesting. And what suit was your face again?
Hearts.
So you are the attacker. So you win ties and deal extra damage. What cards do you summon?
I summoned. What did I summon? My beginning knight and my super soldier shield.
Got it. And this, they used Cloudy and Sheep Cloud and Cloudy and Zero Stress. So they summon, they play a magic card that allows their cloud to lash out, to attempt to destroy your knight, but you're able to activate your Blackluster shield in response, shielding your knight, which leaves their figure exposed to where you're able to strike and destroy their Cloudian. And you deal 2 life point damage to them, dropping them down to 3. And go ahead and draw your card and cut back to Timmy.
Hi.
Real quick, I didn't get to point this out before because I had to step away. My lore is when someone is inspired by my dedication, they gain a token. Based on the conversation before we got here, would everyone have gained a token from that?
I think that's fair. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's late.
You're good. That's final battles. Time to pull out the stops, so to speak.
Retcon it all. Fuck it.
So let's go ahead and play our face. You are the
The
attacker.
attacker this time.
So I'm gonna play that, and we can go ahead and reveal. Mine is the Ace of Spades.
Mine's the Ace of Diamonds. Baby Dragon!
And since that's a tie, you're the attacker, so you play your boost cards first.
I play 1 boost card. Pass my turn.
I am going to play 2.
That's nutty.
My total is 8.
Mine's 7.
The 5 of hearts, the 2 of hearts, and the Ace of Spades.
I've got the 6 diamonds, which is a Red Eyes Black Dragon sword, but it's just not strong enough.
So yeah, you'd been doing some good damage and had actually destroyed a few of these machines. And you're feeling pretty confident with your red eyes and your red eyes sword. But this figure activates a spell, and you see the broken pieces of the previously destroyed Cybertarks reappear and form together into a larger cyberdark that seems to be able to harness the spirit of a stronger dragon. And as you see this kind of long, very serpent-like dragon with the two smaller wings trapped within the constraints of his thing seems to give it enough power to overwhelm your red eyes. And you take 1 life point damage, and you have to draw and then discard a card.
Can do.
And back over to Evan.
It's gonna go bad, but that's fine. Everything's fine.
You could spend a token to draw 2 additional cards.
Or any of your other moves. I don't know
Or
what
any
else.
of the other ones.
I could. No, I have plans for what I'm gonna use my token for.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play our face cards then. You are the defender this round.
Yep. Ace of Hearts.
Ace of Spades. And tied again. You're the defender, so I have to play my boost first.
Damn. I'm gonna say you win.
Yeah. So close. All right. I will put down 2 boosts.
Okay. My total is 6. The boost I put down was 5 of diamonds.
Yep, I can't beat that. Because I have very low cards. My highest is a 4. And that isn't a card I have right now.
So then you take 1 damage and then draw and discard 1 card.
All right.
What are your life points at?
My life points are at 2.
And
which
then
is
we'll
fine.
Go back over to Timmy.
Timmy.
Surprised it's the first time that bit has come up. Given
Yeah, I was gonna
Wait.
say.
What bit?
Well, to be fair, it is the the season premiere tonight, I think. So
I can't
Wait.
believe that show is still running. To be
Yeah.
honest.
I mean, yeah.
I did not mean to do a South Park reference. I was just exclaiming my name.
But
I was
that
like,
just makes it
what?
better. You
I
have
was
to know
like,
how
what
that just makes
bit?
it better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend a token to draw 2 cards for my deck.
Okay. I am the attacker this round. I've got my face down whenever you've got yours.
I've got mine.
Okay. Mine is the 4 of hearts.
I got a 3 of clubs.
Okay. I play my boost first. I'm playing an additional boost.
I played 2 cards.
Okay. My total is 7.
My total is 10.
Shit.
We got
Okay.
a 3 of clubs, a 5 of diamonds, and a 2 of clubs. So we got alligator sword dragon, we got 1,000-year dragon, and we got time magic hammer. So everything kind of just like melds together, you know. We got a bunch of timey-wimey dragon things.
Yeah, I think somehow Time Wizard combines his magic with polymerization to fuse multiple beings, like to create this just timey fusiony void of which emerges those 2 summons that just team up to destroy this Cyberdark harnessing the stronger dragon. And you said clubs, so you are going to do 2 life point damage, I believe.
I sure do.
And that drops them down to 1. So they are looking rough.
Evan, you can do it. I believe in you.
Draw 1 card. And yeah, let's cut back to
I
Evan.
also believe in you, Evan.
Same.
So I'm gonna spend a token to use I'll Be Strong, I'll Outlast Them, and restore 2 life points.
Nice.
bringing me back up to 4, since I am down to 2.
Nope. I like that. I didn't realize you had that. This is a side note, but again, for anybody watching, Tournament Arc rules. The Heart of the Card stuff rules. Those are really cool rules for this card game. So, like, please check this system out.
Can confirm.
Thirded.
So, Liz, I feel like I'm asking a really silly question, but what happens when I've used all of my cards?
You just draw. You just
Okay.
shuffle the discarded pile and draw from the new one.
Okay.
You have used up your soul. You are dead.
No, we don't have deck outs with the 10-card deck. That would be brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That would
didn't
be
win in like
really
4
unfortunate.
rounds, loser.
Talk about rush
Yeah.
duels, huh?
Yeah. Especially with a move that literally lets you draw 2 cards. Like, oh, that's a risky gamble in that situation.
Impossible to defeat milling deck.
Okay. Okay.
I've got mine down.
I've got mine down as well.
Okay, mine is the Ace of Diamonds.
Mine is the 2 of diamonds.
Yours is higher, so you go first for boosts.
I'm going to use 1 boost.
I am also going to use 1 boost. And my total is 4.
My total is 5.
Nice.
Damn.
What cards do you have?
I have what do I have? I have Gateway to Chaos and Beginning of Heaven and Earth.
Yeah, that sounds like Blackluster Soldier to me. So, again, this figure's throwing out cards. These are magic types that are constricting and impacting your Pokemon. They use fog control, and cloudy and aerosol. That seem to be like kind of building up their own, like their clouds are swelling larger and like kind of reining in or constraining your Pokemon. But then you open up the gates, and out comes a familiar armored soldier who cuts through all of this, dealing an additional life point damage and dropping this person down to 2 life points. And what was the suit of your
Diamond.
diamond? So you get to draw an extra card. So you draw 2. And let's cut back to Temmie. Got him on the ropes. Let's put down our face. You are the attacker this round.
Timmy doesn't fuck around. Timmy's gonna draw 2 cards because we're trying to finish this. I will play 1 face card.
But Timmy/Joey, you know that Pot of Greed is only limited to 1.
Not
How
in this
dare you.
game.
Put down those angry fingers, Yu-Gi-Oh stands.
Put those fingers in me.
No.
Yu-Gi-Oh
honestly,
stands.
if the diehards are still hanging in at this point with all of this fudging, like, respect. If you're still trying to think any part of this is going to match the rules. If you hung it through Time Wizard Polymerization Fusion Void.
Yeah. Time Wizard fuses with Red Eyes Black Dragon to make a bomb.
Yeah, that's how that works, right?
To give Timmy a gun. The previously
Timmy's got a
discussed Timmy gun.
Yes,
Listen,
we need to give Timmy a gun. I respect this.
Look, I played this game competitively. I can confirm that all of these actions are on the up and up.
Yeah, everything's well within the rules of GOAT format.
Yeah, it's fine.
Scapegoat format.
Scapegoat format. Thank you.
My face is to a space. Sorry, I got distracted
We
by
all got
Timmy with the gun. Did you reveal your face?
Hard not to get distracted by Timmy with the gun.
I play a 3 of diamonds, which is a Claw of Hermos.
Gotcha. Okay. You go first on your boost then.
I'll boost with 2 cards.
I boost with 1. I'm at a 5.
I'm at an 8.
What cards go together to finish this one off?
Let's see, I'm looking at what I played again. I played a Time Wizard, Claw of Hermos, and Alligator Sword. We're gonna combine, and Time Wizard is gonna put on the Claw of Hermos and equip the Alligator Sword, and you're just gonna see this tiny little Time Wizard hopping over towards you, and then go ahead and slash him down.
And yeah, this figure in the lab coat, as this blow hits, gets sent flying up against the wall and slides to the ground unconscious. As Timmy is victorious. And let's cut back to Evan.
So I'm going to use, I've been saving this for when I needed it most, and draw 2 cards.
Okay. You are the attacker, I believe, this round?
Believe. Yep.
Yeah. And my face is the 2 of diamonds.
My face is the 2 of hearts.
Okay. That's a tie. You're the attacker, so you get to play your boost first.
I'm going to play 2 boosts.
Okay. I play no boosts because I have nothing in my hand. So unless those cards are somehow negative, you succeed. And they had 2 life points left, and you played a hearts.
Yes, I did.
What
Yes,
cards
I
do you
did.
have, and how does it end this?
Let's see what I had. I had Envoy of Chaos, Twilight Knight, and Super Soldier Shield was back in play.
Yeah, so I think, again, the clouds start to try and gather, but we see from the ritual previously, the shadows of these knights appear, empowering the soldier as they just cut through. And again, it's that same blade with the shadowy blade underneath that just cuts across. And this figure also hit by, conveniently, a lot of swords in this game. As they're also hit by a blade and sent launching up against the wall. But at least Evan versus the spirit who's right along with Timmy have different preferences on lethality. So, how's this figure doing, Evan?
I know Joey's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I know Gideon's perspective. What is Chase's perspective on murder?
I mean, generally not favorable, I guess, but it depends on the circumstances.
Because I think Evan doesn't go for a killing blow in terms of the duel. But I think he does walk over to the figure with a knife in his hand and then looks over at Chase and says, do I leave him like this? Or do I take him out?
I think that's the beauty of not knowing what you're going to do before you do it, right? You learn a lot about yourself in those moments.
And I think you see Evan take that in, look at the knife in his hand, look at the figure, look back at Chase. And then he just slowly puts the knife back in the sheath and steps away from the figure.
And then Timmy pulls out a gun and shoots him in the back of the head.
Pop like 5 times. Pop, 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 pop. No unfinished business. No unfinished business.
Chase, I think, is gonna Chase, I think, is gonna nod.
Nice. Uh, and that let's cut to Gideon. Gideon, you've cruised
Yes.
into this room uh, on your hoverboard. Um, you see your mother running towards, well, on a hoverboard. On your temporarily possession as 9/10 of the law, currently hoverboard. Uh, you see your mother rushing forward towards what looks like, so you would recognize Alec, Queese, uh, gathered together, seeming to be trying to summon the final piece of Exodia as your mother rushes towards them uh, with her dual disc pulled out as you cruise into the room. What do you do?
I'm trying to run her down. Yeah, Gideon is trying to catch up, and without the extra weight of the motorcycle, probably can't take her out with a hoverboard, but will be sort of launching himself at her once he is close enough to do so.
Okay. Um, so like diving off it to tackle her?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, Gideon just sort of like crouches low as it gets close, and as soon as he like feels the distance is like safe,
Mhm.
he will throw himself forward at her and sort of like grab her by the like back of the head, maybe even, and
Mhm.
just try and like down her like face first onto the ground.
Yeah, so you're able to knock her down, but she kind of just is able to shift and turn her head just a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe even I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of the scene, I think as he like downs her, he's like overshot a bit because he's too overzealous. Like he downs her and then tumbles past her a bit.
Mhm.
So he would be between her and the group of them trying to summon this last piece instead of having her pinned like he wanted to.
Yeah. Uh, and she's looking rough, but she starts to sit up. Gideon, I know you aren't going to understand, but you need to let me stop them.
Understand. There's a lot of things I don't understand.
Listen,
You, what, were willing to sacrifice lives to gain what? A tighter grip on people who are already miserable and suffering, people who you told me from the time I was old enough to understand the words coming out of your mouth that I should do everything I can for? What don't I understand?
that this is all about setting them free. Yes, some sacrifices had to be made, but these resistances, there's not enough. Until we clean the slate, it's just going to be another group taking power, and they're just going to fall prey to the same issues.
And he like is getting back to his feet and is closing the distance between them. So what? What do we do then?
Well, what I was trying to do before your group interrupted the spell was take control of this thing that they're trying to summon. We need its power. There's a gate. There's a gate to another realm. And if we could just open it, it would level everything out. It'd be something new that everyone would have to work together to deal with, and it would just cl- that would stop all this. It would clear things out and bring the playing field back to even.
Bring the playing field back even. You know, thought about this moment for a long time, and I've never really been sure what I was going to say to you Hell, I didn't know what you were going to say to me, but this. Get it now. You're afraid. Not of what's out there, not of what's been going on. You're afraid of something you told me we should always be doing. You're afraid of doing the work. You're afraid of actually fighting. You're afraid of all of this and what comes next. And so what? You want to create a situation where we all suffer together because it's easier? What balance does that bring?
I'm not afraid of fighting. I did fight. For years, we fought, and it accomplished nothing. And even if we had won, with these structures still in place as they are, we would have been succumbed to the same temptations, the same abuses of power, and there would have just been a different face on the other end wearing the boots that are stamping on everyone's throat. The only way to break this cycle is to just clear it all out and start over again.
I You want to bring unknown, unimaginable something here in hopes that hatred born through generations will be set aside, and the people who are already crushing us under their boots, which include you, by the way, now, are going to happily, freely give that up to work with us, to trust us the way what you want us to trust them, the way we trusted you? You think that that's an answer? You think putting all of our lives at risk solves anything?
Whether they ally with you or not, either they ally with you and stop this, or it's all wiped out. Either way, things change. And in that, there's at least a chance for a better world. There's no chance in the cycle we have now.
For a better world. What's the point in a better world if there's no one there to live in it?
What's the point in this world if people just keep suffering for eternity and all your fights are for nothing?
We suffer to advance. Yes, the answer's not easy, and hell, there's every chance, fuck every chance. It is almost certain that our generation's not the one who's going to find the answer. We're not going to win this war, but that's not the point, Mom. The point is to make it is to leave the next group to step up and take the title of menaces or whatever they choose to call themselves and fight from a better point. It's the work that you put in. That's what you taught me. It's the effort we put forward to make it better for them, to pave the road for who comes next. And one day, they'll get there. Not with this, not with that, he says as he motioned back towards the summoning circle, but by refusing to lay down and die. And that's what you're asking us to do. You're asking us to lay down and die because it's better off for us all to be dead. And I guess whatever happens to be left, will figure it out. No, you are scared. You're scared because you don't think that the work that we do matters. I don't know who you are. You're not the person that raised me. You're not the person who made sure I knew everyone's name except Lafayette. No. You're not the person who put me in this god awful fucking position where everyone looks to me for an answer. No. You're not even the monster I was terrified you would be. You're nothing. Weak and afraid and unwilling to accept that your role may not be the final one. You abandoned us. And I don't even know. Was this the plan when you left? Or was that just easier? Was it easier to walk away and go join the winning side because it meant you had to do so much less to try and figure out a solution?
No, I never left them to win. I left them to find a way to end this. For you and all the other menaces. I didn't want to doom you to a life of fighting pointless battles and burning yourself to a crisp, trying to lead a group for nothing. The
Far
way I
better you
did,
doom us to death.
I I wanted to give you a chance at a world free from all of this. You're
If I
strong.
survive.
You would have made it through. Most of the ministers would. You all know how to fight. Frankly, it's probably them who would suffer more from this. They wouldn't have been prepared for what's happened. You've all been fighting impossible battles your whole lives. This would just be a different one that maybe could lead to something better.
It's not just us and them, is it? Every single other person caught up in the middle of this. Because we're not the majority. And if we're being honest, neither are they. It's the people who live their lives day to day as best they can. They don't fight. They don't stand up. They cower. And yeah, there's something to be said about that. And there is so much frustration here because they can't begin to understand what we go through for them. But you doom all of them because some of us will make it. Maybe. Please. All you're doing here is invalidating everything that we've done that you once did, throwing lives away in the process. And I'm not going to let you do it.
Well, son, you can certainly try and stop me. I'm just gonna grab cards out of her deck.
What better way to cap off this emotional reunion than with a duel?
That is how the show works.
Yeah. He does the
Take
very
your deck out.
he does the very traditional, just brings his arm up and it's already there.
And let's draw 5 cards.
Do it.
You are the attacker for first round.
Excellent. All right.
I have my face set.
This one. I have my face set too.
Mine is the Ace of Spades.
Mine is the 4 of Hearts.
Oof. And you go first because you have the higher.
Right. You said the Ace of Spades, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play. Yeah, I'm going to play 1 face down.
And then I throw down a face down.
What was your face card?
My
Again?
face card was a 4 of hearts.
Okay. I'm not gonna use any boosts.
Ooh. Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Terrifying.
Frankly, terrifying.
just a touch, right? Okay, well, my one boost was the Ace of Hearts.
Damn it, I could have actually matched that.
Hey.
It's like starting with 4 is a lot. I'm not burning as many cards as that's gonna take. So what are your cards?
So, my 4 of Hearts is a Wolf, Lights One Beast, and my Ace of Hearts is a Mirror Force.
Okay. So my one card was Dark World Lightning. So I think she manages to destroy your Mirror Force, but isn't able to stop your Wolf because you played a Hearts, I believe does 2 damage.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she takes 2, dropping down to 3 life points.
Yeah. I imagine it's like he plays like a Charge of the Light Brigade, which mills cards from his deck so they just sort of vanish in a flash of light, and one of those cards is Wolf, which brings it out onto the field. Then it like charges forward, the lightning like streaking past it, shattering the Mirror Force, and it just like thrusts it.
Love that. And let's do the next round. So draw another card,
Let's do it.
and I'm the attacker this time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put out my face. Ace of Hearts.
4 of Diamonds.
Okay. You play your boost first because you played the higher card.
Okay. I will play 1 face down. Right? Yeah.
Okay. I am going to put 2 face down.
Uh-oh.
My total is 8. 4 spades, 3 of hearts, ace of hearts.
Nice. -7. 4 of diamonds, 3 of hearts.
What do you summon?
So my 4 of diamonds is Solemn Judgment, and my 3 of hearts is Jane, Lightsworn Paladin. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think you summon out both of those. And what was the first one?
Solemn Judgment.
Oh, perfect.
Oh no.
No, well, just for like narrative purposes.
Yeah.
So before I think you're able to activate your solemn judgment, or you don't quite know what she's doing, so maybe you haven't you're saving it, expecting it to interrupt something, but through a combination of Infernity Force and Infernity Archfiend, she's able to bring out Void Ogre Dragon, which allows her to negate a spell or trap card once per turn.
Nice.
And so, your Solemn Judgment is able to be shrugged off, and the Void Ogre Dragon deals 2 damage to your life points, dropping you down to 3
Oof.
as it tears through Jane and your other Lightsworn on the field.
I would like to use a complicating move.
Mm-hmm.
I have a costly misplay. I have 2 cards in hand, so I can randomly discard 1 to gain a token.
Okay.
I have a 50-50 shot of this being really good or probably awful. Okay. Really, really good.
Well, it's the next round, and you are the attacker again. So draw a card, and let's play our face cards.
Give me 1 moment. I lost life point. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that token immediately, if that's okay. I'm going to use it for I'll protect you, my treasured companion. I would like to take back the 4 of diamonds.
Okay.
Okay, so
You also should, I think, be at 3 life points because she had a hearts.
okay, yeah, then I am at 3.
Read
We're
it to
swinging. Okay.
And my face is the 2 of spades.
My face is the 2 of diamonds.
Okay. You are the attacker, so you play your boost first since we tie.
I'll play 1 face down.
I'm going to play. Okay, 2 face down.
Oh, okay.
7. 3 of spades, 2 of hearts, 2 of spades.
Also 7, 5, and 2 of diamonds.
And diamonds does not break ties, neither does spades. So, our monsters clash to no avail.
Ooh, interesting.
I brought out Infernity Conjurer and Infernity Wildcat, as well as Infernity Launcher, launching both of those at you, but you're able to repel them using
Raiko Lightsworn Hunter and Celestia Lightsworn Angel. I think what happens is as they're like the first one is fired off, Raiko sort of like dives in front and is hit by it and is dispelled. Celestia comes down and sort of destroys the launcher, but the blowback shatters her as well. If that's cool.
No, absolutely. And we go into the next round. We both draw a card and play our face.
I am going to spend 1 more token, which will put me to 1 to activate Pot of Greed. I'm sorry, I think I did Graceful Charity is my flavor for it. But mechanically, I will draw 2 cards.
For the record, I am playing true to the Infernity archetype, and I have no other cards in my hand besides my face card.
Whew. Okay, I will play the 4 of diamonds.
5 of spades.
Okay. I can just play face up because you don't have any other cards, right?
Yeah, you can.
All right, I'm gonna play 1. I'm gonna play a 2 of hearts.
That is enough. So you do 1 damage, dropping her down to 2. She had summoned out Infernity Necromancer, but is unable to do much with it because you summon.
I used a Solemn Judgment again to counter it, actually.
And yeah, so it crumbles, and you're able to attack me with. Do you have another card out?
I had so I'm gonna call a bit of an audible if that's okay.
Yes. Please feel free.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it be Aaron Lightsworn Monk. That's what's gonna happen because it was an honest, but I kind of wanna. I have an idea for that might come up. So Aaron Lightsworn Monk, and it just sort of like she leaps forward with like the thrust kick.
Okay. Draw again. Am I the attacker this round? I think.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. I am going to play my only card as my face.
I will play.
Appreciate that this deck is actually like kind of playing out the way an Infernity deck would, though, because it is actually giving me good cards the moment that I stopped having any cards in my hand.
Fair.
Because
Well,
my face is the 7 of spades.
Oh, that's really good. How much life are you at, by the way?
2? Yeah,
okay.
2.
Cool. I'm at 3. My face is the 4 of hearts. Because I had to shuffle.
Yep. And yeah, play as many.
I'm gonna play 1. You have the 7, you said?
7 of spades.
Okay, actually, can I do something else?
Sure. What are you gonna do?
I would like to spend my last token to do my Truest Companion, destroy them all in 1 blow. So I can discard my hand. Oh, actually, no, I can do this. I'm sorry. This is way better. So I do play the 4 of diamonds, and then I'm going to use this as the end. I'll blast right through you. So I spend my token, and I triple my 4 to 12, but I can't play boosts.
Uh, Perfect. So
And then
yeah,
I'm out of tokens.
what is your 4 that is triple to a 12, or what are you summoning? Because she summons out, thinking she has the edge on you, summons out Infernity Doom Dragon, which is it's a big thing. But what are you able to overpower it with?
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do here
I feel like this might be
is
where the honest comes in, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think I'm going to bring out the wolf that I did play, the card I played for, and then when the Infinity Doom Dragon attacks into it, that's when the honest activates. So there's this like bright flash of light and the wings sort of settle down over it. And I think there's all like each of the other menaces will feel a bit of like a tug as Gideon sort of draws on their energy to do this.
yeah. And she's down to 1 life point,
With a
and
diamond, I get to draw 2 cards, right?
yep,
Oh, good.
and then we go into the next round. I've drawn and played my face.
My face is
Uh,
the 6 of diamonds.
Mine is the 6 of spades.
I'm gonna just throw all my cards on it.
All right. Uh, so she tries to recover and summons out Inferni Doom Archfiend. Uh,
Oh no!
We were
It
so
was too
close.
powerful.
We're so close!
to the Shadow Realm I go. She summons out Inferni Doom Archfiend. How do you finish the fight?
So the Archfiend comes out, and I think it pretty handily destroys the wolf, which leaves me with an empty board. Gideon has no cards left in hand, and a pretty full graveyard. His deck is down to like 2 or 3 cards at this point. Lightsworn milling themselves out. He's just burned through all his resources, and he's staring this thing down, and he just knows that it's not looking good. He's been a step ahead the whole time, and it still hasn't been enough. And he's feeling very much once again like that child who has to constantly be reminded to be mindful of everyone else and that everyone else comes first and that it's his job to protect them. And then he draws his card and then he plays Judgment Dragon. And just there's this huge black feathered dragon that sort of descends. And there's this just radiating like divine aura coming off of it. And its wings curl in and then they thrust outwards. And Gideon's life points dwindle down. And everything around it is just absolutely decimated. And then it draws its head back and there's more of that divine light just starting to peek out of like the bits between its sharp teeth, and it breathes out this blast of white blinding light.
Yeah, and you're able to overwhelm her with that. And you, the other 3 of you, come running into the room having finished your own respective battles. And you see this giant looming dragon breathe out this energy as it slams into Gideon's mother, sends her flying backwards. And then beyond her and Gideon, you see Alec and Queese seemingly reaching the peak of the ritual to summon the final piece of Exodia, uh, seconds away from finishing the ritual and summoning this last piece into existence. What do you all do?
I think Chase, who is like fairly fresh at this point because he didn't have to do any battling, is going to say, "Hey, are we still stopping this?"
Yeah, that's the plan.
Gideon's
Cool.
gonna kick the hoverboard back towards Chase and be like, "Stop them."
That's perfect because I think what Chase is going to do is you kick the hoverboard back to Chase, and Chase is going to stomp on it as it gets to him and kick it up into the air. He's going to catch it, step to one side, set it to like full blast, and then just launch it straight at Alec and just knock him the fuck out mid-ritual.
Yeah, let's go.
Which is going to be do something bloody brilliant. I think I'm going to spend a token for it. I am swimming in tokens.
Incredible.
Nice.
Yeah, that's perfect. And yeah, the hoverboard just crashes into him. He's knocked flying back. The ritual breaks, and the magic energy they had summed up, like, just kind of explodes out, kind of pushing over everyone as all this built up energy has no place to go. And when the kind of like, it's almost like that kind of like flash of light that like blinds out the room for a second, and then when like kind of the light fades, the energy's gone. Lyra's lying on the ground. Alec is lying on the ground. Reese is looking around confused, and the four of you are all standing there. What are you all gonna do?
Is it done?
I mean, the ritual's not happening anymore.
I mean, yeah, we did what we came here to do, right?
Yeah. I'd say it's a long way from done, but we've done what we needed to do here.
Sorry about your mom.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Timmy. Thanks.
Timmy takes out a gun and shoots his mom. No,
Timmy, no!
I think, we should take a second and really appreciate the gravity of what went down here today. I mean, sure, we saved the world, but more importantly, Evan won a duel.
This was coming.
Thank you, Chase. I actually won 2 duels, but thank you.
Yeah, but you didn't get, like, knocked back this time. Like, you won one.
I won both of them.
Yeah, you, won asterisk the last one, but you, won this one.
And you didn't get knocked up.
Yeah, exactly. What Joey said.
You did good, Evan.
Thank you.
Did very good. You are a menace, and you will always be one of us.
I don't think I should be. It would feel like I was taking my brother's place.
You don't have to stay here, but you'll always have a place here.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
There's no
I have
reason it
another
can't be both of
place.
you.
I have a coven
Yeah.
of my own.
We went over that in episode 1.
That was 4 weeks ago.
Fair.
Well, they're probably pretty pissed at you because they were presumably doing this ritual.
No, they knew what I was doing.
Oh, all right. All right. I mean, I think we're better, but okay.
Plus, wouldn't it be nice to hang out with your brother?
I mean, I do hang out with my brother, but it's
Even
kind of
more?
weird.
No,
Kind
he
of
never
weird when
talks
we're in-
about you.
Yeah, that's because I asked him not to.
Sure. Okay. Whatever.
So what now?
Well, now we have a lot of fighting ahead of us. And maybe not only in one direction anymore. Because there are going to be a lot of upset people on both sides here. And not everyone's going to want to hear our explanation.
Well, Gideon, there's no point worrying about that.
Because you light up my world.
It went down the way that it went down. And now we get to see what happens next.
Yeah. One might say you just made a choice. Don't know if it's going to be good or bad yet. Have to wait and see.
Find out next week on Banned in Duel City.
And on that note, I think this...
Liz,
whole
may I
picture
do
will
one
come-
last thing?
Yes,
May
please.
I do one last thing? So, as we all start walking out of the sanctuary, Evan drops back to walk with Chase and says, so you know how Timmy kept, saying that we should just like date or something? I was wondering if you wanted to go out on a date sometime, like a bro date. Like we go to get coffee, but it's as bros, but it's also not or we throw knives together and it's as bros, but it's a date.
Stop talking. Let's just see what happens.
Find out next time on the dating
sim. Live with that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all to my awesome cast. This has been one hell of a ride. Let's do some outros, I suppose. Yep, JD, you want to take it?
Oh fuck, I'm always first and I always forget. Hi, I'm JD. I do a lot of things with Live from the Apocalypse. You will see me back here next Tuesday. That will be the next time I'm here. Yes. You can also find me between now and then. God, where can you find me? You can find me with The Lost Caravan on Friday for Lancer. You can find me with RPGs Uncovered on Saturday for Cyberrats. And you can find me with Tales from the Table Studios for SCP A Crumbling Foundation. So let's see how many of my characters in any of those games survive the next week, because I feel like at least one will probably die, and it'll be a good time. I think that's it for now.
Perfect. Lion?
Hi, I'm Lion. Tonight I've been Gideon Gainsley. I am the head for Tales from the Table Studios, which is usually where you find me. Every once in a while I pop up somewhere else. We'll be live on Friday with Life on the Periphery, which is a TTRPG actual play based in the world of The Expanse. I'm behind the scenes on that one, so you won't see this beautiful face, but you will see some amazing people telling an incredible story. You definitely don't want to miss it. Then you will see me on Monday as I run A Crumbling Foundation, an SCP-themed actual play, although I think you might already know that bit. But most importantly, we're running Days of Tales 2 at the end of March 24th through the 26th, and we have casting calls open for it now. We're looking for players and GMs and panelists. We're working on giveaways and a whole bunch of stuff, all to support NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's an amazing organization that does some really good work. We're really, really excited and happy to be able to be doing this again. Days of Tales has always held a really special place in my heart. The first one was amazing, and I can't wait for this one. Check out the link for the casting form. We do a bunch of updates over on Twitter at TheLionKnight42, at least for now. We'll see if that changes. This has been amazing and incredible, and I'm so grateful that I was able to be here and be a part of this fantastic story. That's it for me. Oh, wait, also, bro date, yes!
It's on.
Hey, Gideon, I fucked your mom. Hi, everyone. I'm Matan. And tonight I played Timmy and Joey. And you can find me on Twitter.
That's why Timmy hung back.
That's why Timmy's hung.
You're done.
We're adults.
You're done.
I'm done. Goodbye. You can find me on Twitter and Discord. Listen to my band. Will is very cute tonight. I texted your wife telling her that, and that's it.
Okay.
Well,
all of that. I know. Yeah, I'm one of the organizers and the storytellers here live from the Apocalypse, and I do a bunch of stuff. You can also catch me this coming Tuesday running Class Reunion, which JD will be playing in. It's a 5e adventure about a group of high school students who have been stuck in a fantasy world for 10 years. And after that, that's the only thing we got going on that week. But you can check out Academy H, the Masks Actual Play podcast that I run and edit on your podcast platform of choice, and also Cryptid Community College, where I play Fletcher Bain, a Scottish person. And that is all on live from the Apocalypse on your podcasting platform of choice. This coming Monday, you can catch me with Guild Superior. And this coming Friday, you can catch me with No Fan Podcast. And that is going to be it for me, I think. I feel like I'm forgetting something. But that's probably fine. They're not still high schoolers. They're 10 years older now, but they were high schoolers when they got stuck there.
You did forget to mention that it is an impeccable Scottish accent.
It's not impeccable. I don't want to claim that. I don't.
Donkey.
I don't want that to be on the internet. It's
out my swamp.
It wanders a little, and sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's bad. So
Can you give us a little taste right now?
Nope, I sure can't.
Please do it. I'm begging.
You can listen to the podcast if you want to hear it.
I am Liz. Watch Missing Numbers on Tuesdays. Stick around and see if I can somehow find a way to come up with a game more unhinged than this one. And buy Tournament Arc because it's great, and buy Bad Hand shirts because they're very cool as well.
Yes,
and I talked Will into making those, so make it worth his time. And yeah, that's it for us. Stick around because we are going to raid another stream. There will be 2 messages posted in the chat. The first one will be for subscribers. The second one will be for everybody else. Feel free to copy and paste into the stream we're raiding. Be nice, be friendly, introduce yourselves, and we will see you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.